The story of Annabelle the doll is one of the most terrifying and widely known accounts of the supernatural, largely due to its connection with famed paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. The story begins in 1970, when a young nurse named Donna received a seemingly innocent gift, a Raggedy Ann doll from her mother. Donna, a nursing student, shared an apartment with her roommate Angie. The doll, with its wide eyes and stitched smile, quickly became a fixture in their home, sitting on a chair in the corner of their living room. At first, it seemed like an ordinary, albeit slightly eerie, doll. But soon, its presence would become anything but normal. Within a few weeks of receiving the doll, Donna and Angie started noticing strange occurrences. At first, it was subtle. The doll seemed to move slightly, shifting from one spot to another. The two women would often come home to find the doll positioned in a different way, sometimes even in another room entirely. They thought little of it at first, assuming that one of them had simply moved it and forgotten. But as time went on, the incidents escalated, growing more disturbing. The doll began to appear in increasingly strange positions, often sitting with its hands folded in an unsettling, almost unnatural way. The most alarming discovery was when they found handwritten notes in the apartment, written on parchment paper, saying only "help me." Neither Donna nor Angie recognized the handwriting, and neither of them owned such paper. Terrified, the roommates turned to a medium in an attempt to understand what was happening. The medium performed a seance and revealed a shocking message. The doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins, who had died tragically in the field where the apartment complex now stood. The medium claimed that Annabelle's spirit was lonely and was seeking comfort in the presence of Donna and Angie. Sympathetic to the spirit, the women allowed the doll to stay with them, hoping to offer some kind of solace to the restless soul. However, the situation took a darker turn. The seemingly benign spirit of Annabelle began to exhibit increasingly malevolent behavior. One day, Donna returned to her apartment to find the doll sitting on her bed, its hands and chest covered in what appeared to be bloodstains. The stains were unnaturally vivid, and they could not be explained by any physical cause. The most alarming event occurred when Donna's friend Lou, who had been skeptical about the doll, came to visit. Lou had an especially unsettling experience. One night, as he slept in the apartment, he was suddenly awoken by a feeling of being unable to move. As he lay frozen in bed, he saw the doll, which had been left on the sofa, slowly crawl toward him. The doll's presence seemed to grow stronger, and Lou's fear only intensified when he felt an unseen force holding him down, with no explanation. But the most disturbing encounter occurred when Lou experienced physical harm. One evening, while staying at the apartment, Lou suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of dread, followed by an intense pressure on his chest. When he looked down, he saw deep claw-like scratches appearing across his body, as if something had physically attacked him. These marks were vicious and deep, yet they healed with unnatural speed, leaving no visible scars the next day. Disturbed by this, Donna and Angie sought professional help. They contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, the renowned paranormal investigators, who were called to assess the situation. Upon their arrival, the Warrens quickly concluded that the doll was not the spirit of a young girl, but rather an evil, demonic entity. According to Ed Warren, the entity had manipulated the women's compassion and allowed itself to be associated with the innocent spirit of Annabelle, using the doll as a conduit to gain power. The demon's ultimate goal was to possess a human soul. The Warrens performed a blessing on the apartment, but they realized that the only way to stop the malevolent force was to remove the doll from the apartment entirely. Ed and Lorraine took Annabelle with them and placed her in their occult museum in Monroe, Connecticut, where she remains locked in a glass case to this day. The case has a sign reading, "Warning. Positively do not open," and is surrounded by religious artifacts meant to contain the doll's demonic influence. The doll's presence in the museum has been associated with numerous terrifying occurrences. Visitors have claimed to feel a sense of unease or dizziness upon approaching the case, and there have been reports of objects moving or breaking around the doll. Some believe that the demon still exerts a dangerous influence over anyone who comes too close. Annabelle's story has become one of the most infamous cases in the world of the supernatural, inspiring films such as The Conjuring and the Annabelle series, which are loosely based on the real-life events. Despite the overwhelming evidence of supernatural activity surrounding the doll, many skeptics argue that the story is a hoax or exaggeration. Nonetheless, the legend of Annabelle continues to haunt both those who believe in the paranormal and those who are simply fascinated by it. To this day, Annabelle remains locked away in the Warrens' occult museum, with warnings for anyone who dares to approach her. The doll's horrifying legacy endures, reminding us of the dangers of tampering with forces beyond our understanding.